people, I'd explained this to someone the other day. They're like, what? They're like, well, all Samoans are like, Western Samoa is no different than American Samoa. I'm like, wait, what?
Oh
What?
no, they're
What?
so different.
What?
They're so different.
They're like, aren't you guys all related?
Hey, this is David Hayter. You may know me as the screenwriter of films like X-Men, X-Men 2, and Watchmen, but you probably know me best as the voice of Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. And you're listening to Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast. Kept you waiting, huh?
Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast. I'm your host, Mekel Faustia, aka Mekel Kasanova, and today I'm joined by a very, very, very special guest, the one, the only, Tawsh. Tawsh, how you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on here. I feel so honored, especially seeing this lineup of people you've already interviewed on here. So yeah, I'm not nervous at all.
No, I'm the one. I'm nervous, but
I don't know why you're nervous. You do this professionally.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things where it hits, you know. I'm just
I get it.
Oh my God.
But I promise, compared to the guy you last interviewed, the one you were talking about, I promise I'm a much more chill interviewee.
Before we dive into this, I want to give a big shout out to that King Scarries who connected the two of us. He's a good friend of both of ours. Kasanga, just phenomenal guy. Just nothing but love for him. But you have phenomenal business with some phenomenal art. You have your own Etsy and everything. Let's talk about that. Like, how did you get into starting your business?
Oh gosh. How much time do you have?
I got all day. So.
Oh man. So art, I've always done art, but I kind of tried to run away from it for the longest time. I grew up in American Samoa and, I did art like in class, like Samoan art class and stuff. And I was not very good at it, but I also didn't try to be good. I had no interest in doing Samoan art. Like my Samoan art teacher was like, oh yeah, your stuff looks like surfboard art and not in a good way.
What?
I was like, all right, well, I don't plan on doing this ever. And then it got interesting because I went to college in Washington State. And that first year I was by myself. Like I didn't know anybody. And it was very lonely because, you know, Polynesians, we're used to being around people.
Yeah.
And so sophomore year, I found the Pacific Islanders Club and they saved my life. Seriously. It was like, it felt a little bit like home, but different because there were a lot of people who had pretty firm grasp of the roots. There were definitely a lot who have never been to the island, didn't know much about the culture. And I never thought of myself as knowing that much. You know, I grew up there, but I'm Afakasi. I'm like half white, half brown, but over there, they might as well just see me as white. That's how I was treated. So I was like, okay, well, I'm white. Then I get to the States and realize, then I get to the States and realize, oh, not white. But the knowledge I had growing up there, I was able to use that to help other people reconnect with their roots. So, like, I remember I was asked to do a banner for the Samoan section. Like, there were different banners, different islands, and they asked me specifically to do the Samoan one. And I was like, are you sure? They're like, yeah, do it. And I did it and they loved it. And I had more people in the club ask me to do like Samoan art for them that they wanted to put on their wall to remind them of home. And then other islanders wanted me to do art from their home. And I was like, well, I don't really know if I should be doing that. They're like, oh, please, you know, they like, you're the only one I can think to ask. So I would research and try to do as much as I can to, you know, help people connect with their home.
Yeah.
But again, I was like, I'm not going to school for this. Nobody can make money doing artwork. Like, this is just a side thing, you know? And then I graduated. I was working and stuff. I was in Missouri and then I got really sick. Like, I mean, it was really bad. And my parents forced me to go back to American Samoa. I was just there healing. I wasn't doing anything productive. And my parents were like, hey, you know, my mom, she had a yoga studio, and she's like, hey, why don't you do an art show? You know, it'd be fun. Just do something. I guess they were trying to help motivate me because I was, you know, pretty depressed too. It's like, sure, why not? So I did a bunch of art, put on my very first art show, didn't know what I was doing, but it was wild. I sold everything. And I connected with people who were very interested in doing the same thing. Like, they've never seen anybody do it the way I was doing it. Like, they go through professionals. I was just doing this on my own. And they were looking at me like I'm a professional. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Here's some art. And it was cool because I got to see how I was inspiring people. And still, I was like, I'm not doing this professionally. This is just to get me by through the hard times. And now I live in South Carolina, you know, sometime. I did 3 art shows, so one each year. And I had other artists join me and promote their artwork and show their artwork. And that was really cool. And then we got hit by a hurricane. Like, my husband and I, we lived up here in South Carolina. You get hurricanes. And one of them was pretty devastating, 2018. My husband, his hours were cut. And we didn't know what we were going to do. Our house had been flooded. And I had this idea for a calendar a while. I've had it for a while, but I never had any confidence to actually do it. But, you know, desperate times, you start going into the archives. And I told my husband about this idea. I was like, you know, I've always wanted to do this calendar with, like, you know, artwork, Samoan artwork every day or every month, and then a Samoan word with its English translation every day of the year. It would help people learn Samoan. You know, it'd be something that I could do for our daughter. And he's like, oh my gosh, you got to do that. I'm staying home. I'm going to quit my job. Like, the very little hours that he had left. He's like, I'm going to quit my job. I'll watch the kid. You got to do this. You got to do this. And I was like, oh, are you sure? This is banking a lot on us. He's like, you can do it. You can do it. Oh my gosh. So I locked myself in a room for 3 weeks, made everything, like, did everything, like a full calendar with all 365 words, 13 art pieces, because you have to do the cover. And I did all of that in 3 weeks. And that, like, helped pay for our Christmas. That helped pay for, like, a lot of things that time. And it was crazy because there were so many things that lined up. Like, one of my friends, she was doing kind of like this small kind podcast on Facebook. And she had asked me years ago to go on it. And I was like, oh, I haven't done anything of note to be on there. And so I was like, you know what? I could ask her, and maybe she can help me promote it. So I reached out to her. She hadn't been doing it for a while. And she's like, oh, you know what? I've been wanting to get back into it. Yeah, let's do it. So she helped me promote it. And I was able to build from there. And I remember I think I only ordered 100 because I didn't think they would sell. And then I ended up ordering 500 more, and those all sold. So it was nice. What? And then, so year after year, I've been doing those calendars. And, you know, I could never get away from helping people connect to their culture, because it's something that I always tried to find in myself, being mixed. You know, being an American Samoa, I never felt Samoan. And I felt like I didn't have a right to touch the artwork. And then being in the States, I was like, I don't relate to people up here at all. I don't relate to them.
They barely know anything about our culture as it is.
Yeah, they don't. Like, nobody knows we're a Samoa. Like, in Washington, maybe some, but in the South, like, nobody knows where I'm from. Yeah. So, and then having other people like me, but okay, like, I always thought, okay, I look the way I look, and that's what's keeping me disconnected from the culture. But then I got to the States, and I saw a lot of Samoan looking people who've never been to Samoa, who don't speak the language. And I was like, wow, there are people like you who exist? Like, I would have just thought, like, wow, you're so lucky you look Samoan. And they're looking at me like, you're so lucky you know about Samoan culture. So it was totally eye-opening, and I guess it's just one of those things that just feels like your calling, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I tried to run away from it. I couldn't. And it's just something I've always loved, something that's always been there for me through the worst times of my life. And helping others connect has helped me, like, in so many ways. It's the most fulfilling thing aside from being a mom.
Yeah. No, and that's one of the things too, like, I always say this, and I make myself sound so old when I say this, but I'm almost 40, so I embrace it. For the young Thundercats out there who don't understand what it's like to be Samoan, whether you're from Western Samoa, American Samoa, or you're just, you know, we're all out there. When you go to different places, specifically within the U.S., when you get further away from the West Coast, especially when you're going down south, like I lived in Memphis, Tennessee. My dad is originally from there. And I lived there. People had no idea. They're like, what kind of Hawaiian are you?
Yeah.
Like,
it's always in relation to Hawaiian.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like it can be very isolating, especially when, you know, you're in different environments. I know when I lived in Memphis, I was around about 7 years old or so, and it was just such a culture shock. It was so different. I didn't relate to anyone growing up. And then I came out here to Hawaii when I was 16 or 17 years old and started going to Chaminade. That's how I ran into and befriended Daniel Hellstrom, who's a mutual friend of ours. You guys went to school together, yeah?
Yeah, we went to school together.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, he's, to this day, he's been, ever since we met, let's say 2008, that's when he came over to Chaminade from ASCC.
Wow.
And been best friends with him ever since then. Oh my God, almost 20 years.
Yeah, he's cool. Cool guy.
So, yeah, that's wild. So how did you, like, when you started selling your art, like, did you just immediately hop on Etsy or creating your own store and everything like that? Like, how did you market it? Like, I need to know.
Organically. So I had set up an Etsy shop, I think in 2016 or something, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't take it seriously. I maybe sold a few things, but not very much at all. A lot of artists were very shy. Marketing is very difficult for us because we got to put ourselves out there, right? Yeah. And when that hurricane happened, and I had the calendars, those became like, you know, my main product. And usually, well, from what I found from my own personal experience, like selling a bunch of artwork is cool, but if you have like one main product, then that'll help sell everything else. You know, it's kind of like people come for that main one and then they see everything else, and it's, you know, like that helps. So when I had the calendar, that really pushed me to market the rest of my art online. And so, oh man, that first year, I remember my husband helped me out a lot. He reached out to, so he's not shy. He reached out to all kinds of people. Like he reached out to, man, I wish I could remember. I feel so disrespectful for not remembering his name because he did a shout out. He had a Super Bowl ring. He's an NFL player. I think it was like Danny Smith. I don't remember. I feel so bad. My husband would know, but he marketed, like he did a post, and then, like there were some other influencers like my husband reached out to. I was too shy. And then Asuelu, he also did a shout out. And then, like more recently, the ones I'm more connected with, Tanua'i Reed. He's, the rock stuntman. Yeah. He's so cool. He like marketed my calendars, and I think somebody bought one of my calendars and sent it to The Rock, because I remember packaging orders, and I heard the shing I was like, okay, I got one more. I can fit it in. So I go and, the address, nobody I know, but then I see the note, and the note is to Dwayne, Lauren, and then his kids' names. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to The Rock. Oh, and this was like my dream. I told my husband in the beginning, like, for me, I would feel like I made it once The Rock has my artwork. Like, The Rock is the guy that I really want to own my artwork. Cause he's also Afakasi, he's like me, and he's out there doing big things. And, so I remember packaging that and stuff, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then I worked on Tanwai Reed's logo for his, stunt, business. And that was cool. And then,
awesome.
What do you call? Yeah, I mean, there's just been so many cool things that happened on this journey that I never saw coming. Yeah, it's been such a ride. And I swear, none of this is planned. I mean, there's some planning. I'm not completely incompetent. but I will say a lot of the blessings are just like things that happen because, I don't know, I love what I do. I feel like it's important. Yeah. So, and I'm kind of a perfectionist. Like, I really want the things that I do to be good products. So reaching out to influencers was a huge thing that helped, that because you can only post on your profile so much because it's your followers. But when other people post, that's when I noticed the most engagement. Like Kasonga, oh my gosh, he helped me a lot. Like I remember he got me like thousands of followers by posting my art. And I was like, oh my gosh, anytime you want, like, I will make something. If you want to just like have a product to show, like I'll do it that way. We'll do it that way. And he's cool. And we kind of relate because we're both from American Samoa, and he's got that humility about him. Yeah. Like he's a big, scary looking dude, but it's like, I know how he is because he's also where I'm from. I mean, we're from different villages, but that mindset, that humility that he has is something that I really connect with and relate to. And it's cool because we can like kind of understand each other because we'll talk to each other and it's like, if it's okay with you. It's like, oh, why are we like this? It's so Samoan.
It is. And like, for those who don't know, like, we are very, very humble people. We really are. Like, and it's just one of those things, like, it's no matter, how far away we get from home, or no matter how, like, when we grow up and just go out and into the world, it just stays with us no matter what.
Yeah, it's drilled into us.
It literally. Like, our parents are like, oh, you what? I'm gonna take your slip off. You want fussy? Nope.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's right.
It's one of the things too when it comes to like the social media thing. I am horrible at social media. I commend anyone who's able to get on top of it and do well with it. Because what I don't understand, especially like with Instagram and I'm seeing it with TikTok as well, is they keep changing their algorithms. Like, one minute you got to post this thing and you got to put all these hashtags. Then it's like, don't put the hashtags. And I'm at a point I don't know how to keep up anymore. Cause I feel like there was a point where it was easier to just post it, just put it out there to people and they could just find you easily. And then I feel like around the time of COVID, everything kind of changed. That's when they started doing that. What is it? The FYP or For You page. And, and like, even people who follow you don't always see everything you post. So I'm just like,
no, you're right. And bro, it's because they don't make it for us. They make it for the younger generation who have shorter attention spans.
Yes, they do. They oh my God.
They don't make it for us who want things, easy to navigate, things that make sense, for longer than, a few years. No, they got to keep it fresh. They got to keep it exciting. And It's exhausting. Yeah. It's definitely a full-time job just doing social media.
It is. And it's one of the things like I found with, especially with doing this podcast, like there are companies I've tried to work with and they're like, oh, you don't have enough followers on your Instagram or blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, I don't focus on it. They're like, yeah, but you know, how do you get these people and you do this and you do this, but this is your reach. I'm like, well, you're looking at the wrong thing, but it's weird because like I see other influencers, specifically that do gaming and tech. Like that's one of the subjects that I touch on. And I see them and I see how like, especially when they're on Twitter or TikTok, every couple minutes they're posting something or uploading it. And I'm like, I got kids. I got a family. I don't have that kind of time, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't get
for you, okay, like for example, what you could do is just take snippets of these and then just post them, you know, just snippets, like your favorite sections, you know, and then, you could even post like pictures of the people that you're going to interview before you interview them. I know people do that. Like you have a lot of material to work with. It's just, yeah, it's exhausting having to do it.
Yeah. And so like one of the things I use, I know it's so taboo to talk about AI today, but I get it. Like a lot of my voice actor friends are like, we hate AI because it's going to take our jobs. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. True. And a lot of my artist fans hate friends. They hate AI and I get it. But like I use, what's it called? Opus Clip to take the podcast or any content I make and it makes the clips. The part where I suck at it is the amount of times that Instagram and all these platforms want you to constantly 3, 4, 5 times a day. And I'm like, well, crap, I'm running out of time.
You know, honestly, if you just did it once a day or twice a week, like as long as it's consistent, then, you know, it's fine.
Okay.
Well. Yeah, because I have noticed that with Instagram, if I post too much, I actually lose followers. I don't know why. I don't know how. But I've noticed that for me. So I don't know.
Wow.
So I mean, I think I'm like, I don't even post once a week anymore. I used to be a lot better about it, but I think probably now I'm down to like once a month. But again, you know, I have kids. So yeah, and actually my followers have been going up purely because of Kasanovas. Because of his post, purely because of him. It's like, oh, I don't have to do anything. He did. And then his fiance just did just posted me on her story. So there's that too. I'm like, oh, nice.
So with, you know, I utilize, AI for like clip generation and such. Just, I used to manually do it. It used to take so much time trying to do that. And so I ended up switching over to, I want to say my friend, Roberto Blake. He does a lot of coaching for content creators and influencers who are trying to go full time with it. And one of the things is he was telling me, you know, utilize Opus Clip for your podcast as well as for your product reviews and such, because it's just a time saver. He's like, your time is currency. And, you know, the more time you're not being able to work is more time, you know, you're not making money. So I was like, yeah, you're right about that. And, so yeah, I utilize that and it's really been helpful. I know it helped my YouTube channel greatly go from, I want to say like 12,000 to where I'm at 52,000 just off of utilizing clips in the podcast alone. Nice. And, yeah, it's just trying to figure out, it also helped my TikTok. I was able to hit 14,000. I think I'm still growing on that, but like Instagram is the one I'm trying to figure out how to crack. And I'm like, I need to figure that out.
I mean, Instagram is pretty difficult. Like I find it a lot easier to grow on TikTok. I haven't been doing very much with my YouTube, but Instagram, yeah, that one I think is just hard for a lot of people. Cause I'll see like people, I think it's like Mekel and VJ on TikTok. They have millions of followers. And then on Instagram, not as much. So I don't think you're the only one having that problem.
Okay. Do you think TikTok is actually going to get banned? I don't think it's going anywhere.
I have no idea. That's why I am dragging my feet with it, because I used to be pretty like into it, like doing a lot of like posts over there, but with the ban, I was like, I don't know if I should actually set up shop there or not. I don't want to really be investing time in if it's going to go away. So I don't know. Until I have something definitive, I'm just chilling on that app.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as, when it comes to different, so aside from selling the phenomenal art you have, as well as the clothing and everything like that, how much time does it take you, like on average, like with the hoodie that you sent me, which again, thank you so much for that. That hoodie was, I loved, like, my wife Lehu and I, we did that little photo shoot and posted it on all the different platforms. People loved it. I was like, man.
I'm so glad you like it. I'm going to try and do a dress, cause, man, I have all these ideas of things I want to do. And I'll be sitting there with like my kid, like giving him milk and just thinking like, oh man, when can I work on this? It's like, I mean, I love hanging out with my kids, but like, there all those ideas. I just hope I can keep them fresh until I do get to work on them.
Yeah.
But for that idea, because I have the ulafala, I was thinking about doing a dress, so that the ladies can have their, so the ladies can have like a matching like dress to it. And it would just be like the ulafala going around, like winding around. I just gotta find the time.
That's one of the things about, being a parent and having a family is like time. Is, there's 24 hours is not enough time in a day.
No. And I remember being like a kid and thinking, oh my gosh, like I'm so tired. I'm so bored, or I don't have enough time. And it's like, oh man, the time I wasted, the time I wasted doing nothing. It's like, have you ever get like that? I was like, oh, I wish I did this earlier. Like, I wish I started this earlier. I wish I didn't get in my way when I was younger. We all have that insecurity that gets in our way. And then you get older, especially for me as a parent. Like, since I became a parent, my level of F's to give are at an all-time low.
Yes.
Because it's like, wow, I don't have nearly as much of that negative voice in my head as I used to now. I'm just like, I don't have time for you. I got to do this. It's like, it's so refreshing. It's so freeing. And I can't help but think, man, where was this when I was growing up? Where was all the things I cared about, what I wore, what I looked like, what I sounded like? What a waste of time.
Yeah, especially when it comes down to like when, trying to like impress people or be friends with folks.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, I was like, man, I really want this person to like me. Like I'm 36 now, I'll be 37 in a couple months. And I'm at this point now where I'm like, oh, you don't like me? Okay, cool, whatever.
Right. And it helps you find your people quicker.
It does.
You don't really want to waste time on people that you don't vibe with.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, you can vibe with a lot of people, but you can tell when you're not going to be that close with someone. It's like, okay, cool. And it doesn't mean you dislike them. It just means, hey, we'll just talk about small talk. But then, you'll find the people that you vibe with. You'll find the people that really, I don't know, feel like your village.
Yeah. So, I am curious, have you ever, like gone to like a convention or anything like that to sell your art or anything like that?
I've been to festivals.
Okay.
And again, this is my husband's doing, so my husband and I, we have a luau business that we do together.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a fire knife dancer, MC. And he's out there doing all that stuff. I do all the behind the scenes. Like I make the costumes, I choreograph, I do that stuff. I used to be a dancer. I retired because I like doing this stuff more. I don't really want to be on stage anymore, but somehow my husband keeps dragging me into it. But yeah, so he does these festivals. He'll go and MC, and we'll get like a booth for free because we're MCing or performing, and we have dancers that we teach to do that. Mm-hmm. And those are the ones I haven't been going recently because my son is very young. Mm-hmm. But before him, we used to go to festivals, and that's how I had man, again, I'm gonna feel so bad. All these guys, they support me, and I'm so bad at names. So there's this one Daniel Vidot. So he's a wrestler. Yeah. And he's Afakasi like me too. So I did artwork for him before. And I went to a festival, Hoike in Florida, and I'm there chilling, my first festival in Florida. And he just walks up to my booth like, "Hey, what's up, sis?" I'm like, "What is happening?" Like, wow, you're here. And he brings his wrestler friends to the table, and they're like, I'm there in the middle of this festival, and these wrestlers are around my booth, and one of them is The Rock's daughter, his oldest daughter.
Ava?
And I'm like, huh?
Ava?
Is it Ava? Is that her name?
Well, I know she goes by that on WWE, Ava Rain.
Oh, that would be her wrestling name? Okay, so this is before I think she even had a wrestling name. Okay. But yeah, it would be her, his oldest daughter. Yeah, wow. I have a picture of her where I look like such a fangirl. But like they're around my table. I'm like, how are you guys not getting mobbed right now? Like, this is crazy. And it was so cool because, he's a fan of my art and I'm a fan of his. Yeah. And all the people he's bringing to my table, and I did artwork for a few of them, like just by being connected to him. So yeah, I would say that would probably be my biggest like moment with a festival. And I remember thinking like, is The Rock here too? And my brothers, they're like, "Hey, did you ask her about her dad? Did you ask her for a signature from her dad?" I was like, bros, she probably really doesn't want that question. Like, as a woman whose brothers are, professional fire knife dancers, they're pretty well known in the fire knife world. Yeah. One question I don't really like getting is about them. Like, it's cool every once in a while, but for her, I can just imagine it's at a whole nother level being asked about her dad. So I made it a point to only ask about her, and because she's doing things in her own right and stuff. Yeah. She's doing the thing. So becoming a wrestler and everything. Oof. And she looks like she could break me in half. So
yeah. So one of the reasons like I brought that up because I was wondering because I do media for and press for the conventions out here, so Kauai Con, Comic-Con, Honolulu, and such. And I know they're always looking for, well-established artists and whatnot to fly out here and do such. So I was wondering, if I could connect you and them. And then, like, since you're into anime as well, get some new voice actors, come over. I'm just like, it works.
Oh my gosh, I would die. I've only been to, a convention, you're talking about a convention. I've only been to one before. Yeah. And like, I'm such a geek. And I love the ones that people don't know anything about. Like, I saw Rocket Man there and I was like, what? Wow. And nobody knew who he was. And I was like, I know who you are. Let me take a picture. I went as Witchblade. Nobody knows who Witchblade is.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nobody knew. I was the only Witchblade there. But, it's cool. It's fine. But yeah, oh my gosh, I would love to do a convention. Like, just being there it was so awesome. Like, I love seeing people in costumes. I love seeing their favorite characters walking around. I haven't had a chance to take my family to one, but I really want to one day.
Okay.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh. Yeah. I would love to do that.
Okay. So I figure we can have those talks. I can bridge that. One of the things I'd love to do, and, through meeting Kasonga and just realizing he's the same way. Is like, whatever way I can help our people, that's just something I want to do. Like, if I can help anyone, that's, again, Samoan. But,
I get it. I get it. I took a screenshot of us that I'm going to post on my feed, just so you know. Okay. I'm going to try and see if I can get you some followers too. I haven't been as active, but maybe I could get some of Kasonga's over.
Nah, you don't have to do that. You don't. I
know I don't have to, but I know you know what it feels like to do that. Like, it feels good. It feels good to help. It's like, we always know we don't have to.
True.
But it just feels good. Like, we're a very hospitable people, very generous. It's like ingrained to us, along with the humility.
Yes. So, what is the largest bulk order you've ever had to do?
Those are always every year to the Department of Education in American Samoa. Mm-hmm. So I send them calendars every year. Like, they're great. Yeah, I love doing that.
How long, on average, would like a massive bulk order? Like, how much time would you have to allocate to be able to do that?
So the way I do my calendars, I buy them in bulk every year. So they just sit here, and then like I better sell all of those. Like, right now I have I just started doing Hawaiian calendars. So I have a lot of Hawaiian calendars left over. My Samoan calendars are almost done because people are used to my Samoan calendars, but getting into the Hawaiian market is new. So I probably shouldn't have ordered as many as I thought. I ordered just as many Hawaiian as Samoan. But yeah, and then next year I'm going to try and do Filipino. But for your question, it's not that much time because I have them all here. Like, I don't do the whole made to order thing. Like, I get them all in bulk.
Okay.
And I have a pretty good estimate of like how much to order, just, going off of the previous years. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. I mean, this year might be a little bit different. Especially with three different calendars.
I was going to say, like, if you start doing some Tongan calendars, I could connect you with my Toko Bad Luck Fale from New Japan Pro Wrestling Bullet Club. And
I really want to. I wanted to do that this year. That was the goal, but I didn't have a Tongan translator. That was a big thing. And I needed to have some Tongan artists lined up. Like, I had a few, but also just juggling 2 last year was hard. Juggling 3, I don't even know how I'm going to do this. Usually my art is done and ready by August. Mm-hmm. But that's we'll see. That feels a lot closer than I would like.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you need me to connect you with him, or because even his cousins are in WWE as well. They're in the bloodline. So Tamatanga and Tangaloa, and I believe Ikuleo is.
Wow.
Well, am I supposed to share that? I can cut that out. I know Hikuleo. He's going to be debuting too, and he is still going to be like, they're going to be doing stuff with the bloodline. But if
I ever get those done, I'll let you know. And you said you're part Tongan, so I'll send you some. I send Kasonga a Samoan calendar every year, just as a thank you for helping me, like, promote my business. Yeah. And there's a few people like that who've helped me, and I just gift it to them every year.
So is there any projects that you're working on currently that you would like to share or promote or anything like that?
Those calendars, man. The Samoan calendar, the Hawaiian calendar, and the Filipino calendar. And I already know I'm going to get hate for doing the Filipino calendar from Islanders who are like, why don't you do Tongan before that? Or why don't you do Maori? It's because we had a hurricane Helene. I don't know if you heard about it. It was really bad.
Yeah.
And we had some friends come and stay with us for 2 weeks who evacuated from their home.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them's Filipino, and her parents had been visiting her straight from the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
And she saw my calendar, and I didn't know she was doing this, but she went and translated. She's like, here you go for when you do the Filipino one. I'm like, snap. Usually I pay people to do this, but you just gave me everything to do it. And I know a lot of Filipino artists. I'm like, well, if I have the resources, I might as well do this, you know? And so yeah, I'm working on the Filipino. I'm sorry, guys. I know you want the Tongan first. I know you want the Maori first. I know you want Tahitian first. I know you want Niuean first. I know you want to do all those, but it really depends on what resources I have. Like, I'm doing these myself. So, yeah, I'm going to just start with those, but I promise I will eventually get to, especially Tongan. I really want to get that because I do have family members that are Tongan. Shame on me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll get to it. I promise.
It's definitely one of those things where it's like, I think for people who don't understand like what it's like to be a business owner and doing it by yourself, it is draining because like you
so
really
draining.
have to allocate time for literally everything, for work, prepping, social media. Knucklehead kids over there. You know, like you really, it's so time consuming. And then the biggest part is like making time for yourself. And
yeah, exactly.
That's the hardest part, is like when you're so stressed out all over the place, it's like you got to take that time for you. And it's so hard to do that.
What even is that anymore?
I don't
like for
know.
me, being on this podcast is my me time. It's like, yay, husband has the kids. I get to be on a podcast. But it's like, I don't really have me time to do things that are not work related. And for you being on a podcast, you also have to keep in mind your mindset, because even if you're like bogged down by all the things you have to do, even if you're stressed out, like being on a podcast, you got to check that energy, right?
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you bring that too. And it's the same thing with art. Like when I'm designing and stuff, like sure, you know, if I'm in a bad mood, that'll translate into my art into something that might be cool. But a lot of times, like, I want to be in a good headspace to be able to create, you know, and I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yes.
Trying to check that energy.
Yeah. Okay. So pivoting the conversation, I am very curious. What is your favorite anime?
Oh,
I mean,
what a hard question.
I can say Yu Yu Hakusho because I have that exact shirt.
This is my husband's shirt. That's one of his favorites.
Okay.
And it's crazy that you recognize it just seeing part of it. I really love Naruto. I do. My husband teases me. He's like, oh, that's so mainstream. It's like, I got into Naruto late. Like when everybody else had already seen it.
Yeah.
I got into it just a few years ago. And I remember thinking, oh, there's so many episodes. Do I even want to watch it? But I did, and I had to get through them, and I love Naruto. I also love Demon Slayer. Who doesn't?
True.
I do like the 10 Commandments, or seven Deadly Sins. 7 Deadly Sins. That's the one. I like that one, but
I got to introduce you to the cast for that.
Yeah. Oh, Black Clover. Black Clover would probably be up there with Naruto. Because, I mean, they're pretty similar. I love that whole camaraderie. Yeah. You know, like, that's my favorite is seeing the friendships. And you see a lot of that in, like, especially Asian shows. You know, if you see, like, the South Korean shows, the Japanese anime, like, they really center on community. And I think that's why, as a Samoan, I love that stuff. Because we're very sociocentric. Yeah. But if you look at, like, American movies, like, they're awesome and cool, but they definitely center on like the individual, like the individual. Yeah. And it's cool to watch and stuff, but like, there's definitely a different feeling when I watch shows and animes where it's very sociocentric, you know, like One Piece, you know, it could be just about this one guy, but it's about all him and his friends and how they all work together. And I love that.
Oh, speaking of One Piece, have you dived into that?
I've gone to, how far did I get? I did get past. It's funny because I started that one late too. My brother and sister are obsessed. They are obsessed with One Piece. And I looked at all those episodes like, are you gotta be crazy? How am I gonna be watching all of that? But I remember I got up to the part where
signed by the voice of Luffy.
I got up to as far as where the live action went to.
Yeah.
So when I was watching it, I was like, oh, it stopped exactly where I stopped with the show. And then I tried to watch the show again, and it's difficult. Like, it's cool because I get to see some of these little references that, you know, from pop culture and stuff. You know, you get to see the references, like that one guy. Is he number 2? The one who's kind of femmy?
Oh, I know I can't think of their name, but
he's
I
got
know
like a tutu, I think, or the wings. Yeah, so he's based off of Jim Carrey's character from Ace Ventura when he had the tutu. And I'm like, I know that. I know this reference because I'm old. And there's all kinds of things. So the thing I love about One Piece are the Easter eggs like that. Like, I love being able to, like, do you know what that is? No, you don't, because you're 8. And my kid just be like, bruh, calm down. Yeah, she bruhs me now. Unbelievable. The disrespect, these children.
I know, right? It's the thing. Okay, so One Piece for me is like, I'll watch it to certain points, and I'm just like, I need to take a break because it's such a commitment trying to keep up with it. And it's like, what, over really 1,000 episodes now?
Mm-hmm. It's been over 1,000, right? it's been. And I'm like, I don't have time for that in my life. Like, it's a lot. And it's a great show. It is. Yeah. It's just, oh my goodness. Like, when I was watching Naruto, I didn't have as much of a life. I had 1 kid.
Yeah.
I have 3 now. Well, I have like 2 of mine, and then my nephew lives with us. He's a teenager. So it's like I have 3 in different age groups, and I have no time. But my daughter loves One Piece. That's her favorite.
Wow.
Yeah. Like that's pretty insane for me. She loves One Piece.
Yeah, my so I have 3 daughters, 2 that are 11. They're like 15 months apart. So they're 11. One's about to be 12, and I got this one right here. Yeah, you.
Ooh, when they're all teenagers, that's gonna be so fun for you. I'm sorry. That's like the first thing that came to mind. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, this one's 4. And I'm already, she's got the most attitude. And I'm already like, you're going to be
a handful. Yeah.
She's super opinionated. I'm like, yeah. Cause the other 2 are like, Dad, I want to start dating. You want to what now?
Oh gosh.
What?
I'm not ready for that. No. Mm-mm. Yeah, my daughter asked me about that. I was like, she's like, so why can't I have a boyfriend? Because your dad's Samoan. What's that mean? You don't want to know.
No. So I tell mine, I'm like, you can't date until you're married. And you can't marry till you date. They're like, Dad, that doesn't work. It's not supposed to. Deal with it.
Oh, poor kids.
Yeah, it is something else. But here's the thing that's just so trippy. And I was talking to Daniel about this the other day, and it's like, I was like, dude, where did our youth go? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, so late. We're still young. I'm like, yeah, I know that, but it's like, it's so crazy. Like, looking back when we were like teenagers and in college to where we are now. And it's like, it doesn't feel like the early 2000s, I mean, even the late 90s was that long ago. And it's like,
yeah,
we're closer to 2030 than 2000. That's terrifying.
That's insane. I know, it feels like different lifetimes. Seriously, different lifetimes. Especially like being an American Samoan and being up here. Everything is so different. And I don't think people will ever understand if you just explain it to them.
Yeah.
Like, you have to like live that to really know the difference.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, for you, I can imagine Tennessee being vastly different from Hawaii. Yeah. And you know, I'm closer there. I'm in South Carolina.
Okay, so originally I'm from Missoula on Western Samoa. So
okay,
coming from Western to Memphis, Tennessee was
Oof.
yeah.
And I mean, like, just Western to American is different, but Western to Tennessee.
See, people. I'd explained this to someone the other day. They're like, "What?" They're like, "Well, all Samoans are like." Western Samoa is no different than American Samoa. I'm like, wait, what?
Oh, no, they're so different.
What?
They're so different.
Like, aren't you guys all related?
Was this a white person, black person, brown person?
This is a Palangi, you know.
Oh, well, of course. You know, we're all the same to other people who are not of the culture.
Yeah. Like, oh. Like, you guys are related, right? You know, that's your cousin, right? All the people, like, no. I mean, maybe, but no.
Well, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. But how dare you assume that?
You know, right? Right? Ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I know. But of course, you know, sometimes someone be like that too. Like any Asian person. Are you related to Jackie Chan? Or when my dad does his Mexican jokes, I'm like, Dad, stop.
Oh my goodness.
It's like, just because we're brown doesn't mean like this. Doesn't mean we get a pass, Dad. Like in American Samoa, everybody teases everyone, right?
Yeah.
In the States, it's different. And I realized that with my humor.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. My humor got me in trouble quite a bit in the States. When I first went to Washington, like coming straight from American Samoa, I remember like my friend, we were walking through the snow and she slipped off the bus. Like she was walking down the steps. She slipped in front of everybody. And I'm just laughing. Like, I'm busting out laughing. And then I help her up and she gets mad at me. She's upset at me. And she's embarrassed. And I'm like, oh man. Okay. File that away on how to treat my white friends, you know? It's like, you have to, this is disrespectful. Okay. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Like, so when I say culture shock, it definitely is a culture shock, you know? And then even my Samoan friends who are raised in the States, like it is different because, you know, they're used to the culture up here. Like they're still Samoan, obviously. I'm not, disputing anything like that, but I'm just saying like if you have Samoan humor from the island, it's different than the Samoan humor up here.
Yeah, we are not politically correct, just so you guys understand that. And it's gotta, like, I don't know if it was like more difficult for you, like over the last 10 or so years that everything has become political and a social issue and the sensitivities of people. Like, okay, so this is how much I get. I not now, because I just keep my mouth closed a lot. Mm-hmm. But before, I would constantly say something. Folks like, that's insensitive. You need to be more sensitive. More. I'm like, damn, I breathe and you're offended.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I get it. I understand. But when I come from an island where that's normal, you know, and nobody ever like gets on you about the political correctness there. Yeah. To suddenly be told like that's insensitive or suddenly be told like that's not right to say that's wrong. Like, I'm actually having these conversations with my teenager because he's straight from American Samoa, and I hear him saying the same stuff that I used to. And I'm like, hey, you can't say that. You'll get in trouble. Okay. Or you can't say that. That's offensive.
Yeah.
And he's totally confused. Like, why? That doesn't make sense. And I'm like, trust me, I understand where you're coming from, but you'll learn. There's just some things, and I'm not even going to give examples because I know you already know what they are. But like, I get it. I just want anyone listening to know that it's very different when you're on an island where anything goes, you know, and that's what you're used to. And then you come up and, you know, respect is deeply ingrained in us. Yeah. But the parameters and the guidelines for respect are different. They're different over there. What you find respectful here and disrespectful here is very different than over there. I mean, it might be different now. I don't know. I haven't been home in a minute, but yeah, I remember getting in trouble so much. When I first went to Washington, I was like, so sorry, guys. I promise I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to be a terrible friend. Oh man, I get teased so much. Such a fob.
So is winding down to the last question, being completely respectful of your time, because I know it's late where you are. I think you're
good.
6 hours ahead, so it's like what, 10?
Yeah, it's 10. But you're good. I'm having a lot of fun. Just so you know.
So is there anything that you would like to share with the audience, or anything you'd like to promote before we wind down to the end?
I mean, I already plugged my calendars. I guess the thing I want to leave people with, like in case you have any artists, because I know you have voice actors that you interview, and it looks like gamers too, right?
Gamers, voice actors, actors, composers. I mean,
so people
yeah,
in the entertainment business.
Yeah.
Right. That I see a lot of.
Yeah.
And as someone who grew up in the entertainment business on a small scale in American Samoa and then also as an artist, I guess I just want to leave people with some words of wisdom from somebody who got in her way a lot. And especially if you're an islander. If you're an islander, that's like a double whammy, because we are so hard on ourselves, and we're so critical, because we know that in our culture, we also smack talk people who do big things. Yeah. And it's like, oh, look at them. They're so fiakama, they're so fiakenge, or they're so, you know, they're so fa'amawalunga. Like they think they're all that. And we have those voices in our heads, right? Where it's like, oh, well, I don't want anyone to talk about me like that, so I'm just going to make myself smaller. And if you do that, you will be doing such a disservice to yourself and to your community and to your craft. Like, if there's something that you feel like you're meant to do. Like, I kept running away from Samoan art because I felt like I wasn't Samoan enough to do it. I felt like I wasn't professional enough to do it. I wasn't just enough to do it. I wish I had done it earlier, because I'm still Samoan. Like, I'm half, but I grew up there. Like, I went through the hurricanes. I showered in the rainwater. Like, I did the chores. I got sasad with the salu, like, so if that's not Samoan, I don't know what is. but the main thing is, like, don't get in your way. Like, I promise when you get older, you're going to wish that you had just done it. Like, there's a great quote that's, I'm going to butcher it, but I'll try to get it as close as I can. It says, there are people out there doing what you want to do, with far less perfection, with far less experience than you.
Yeah.
And they're doing it. They're out there. They're doing it. And it's only because they're confident.
Yeah.
And I know confidence is really hard to foster in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times, if you just get started, if you just put yourself out there, and the more wins that you rack up, the more that confidence will become part of you. For Samoans, for most islanders, we are humble people, but that's a double-edged sword, because you could easily fall into self-deprecation. And that's not where you want to go. You don't want to get to the point where you're putting yourself so far down that you talk yourself out of doing anything great, or even anything good, or even anything at all. Like, you don't want to do that to yourself. You take in everything that you say about yourself. So make sure that everything you say is good, and just do it. Just do it. Just try it out. Try doing things that are scary to you, like baby steps, and you'll get more and more confidence. Build that confidence. But also don't get to the point where you can get arrogant, and don't get so humble that you become self-deprecating. Don't put yourself down. So it's hard finding that balance at first, but the more you do it, the easier it'll be. And Samoans, I mean, come on, you guys are great at like sports. You're great at music. And, because we're good at that stuff, it's natural. We're used to just doing things that are natural.
Yeah.
But you can learn to do things that start off unnatural too.
Yeah.
And they will eventually become natural.
Sure.
I hope all of that made sense.
Oh, no, it did. It definitely
did.
No, and it is something that I really try to. I know he's over there being like all shy, got his camera off, his mic muted, telling it, come say hi, make a cameo.
Yeah, you're the reason I'm here. You're the reason I'm here.
Yeah. Turn on your camera, Kasanga.
I know he knows what I'm talking about. I know he knows. Coming from the island, that small island, you get to feeling like you're small too.
Oh, he said behind the scenes.
I see.
No, but it's very important to walk that fine balance, and with doing content creating for as long as I've done it, both as a hobby and professionally for the last 6 or 7 years, I've seen a lot of people struggle with it. I've seen people that had so much potential, but they're so humble and shy that opportunities just kept passing them by, and they gave up. And I've seen people that have great skills and have big ass egos, and I'm like, okay, rein it in. You see that cloud up there, about 10 feet above that is your ego. Lasso it down to the. Come on now.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
But it's very important to walk that fine balance, and between you, Kasanga, a lot of other people that I've gotten to meet along this journey, it's really great, and especially seeing our people, just shine and to showcase what we can do. What people need to understand. Look, Samoa, both Western and American, very small islands in the scope of the whole world. And our culture and our people are getting out there and just showcasing what we can do. And I'm so happy to see that. So happy to see
that. Oh yeah. It's awesome. It's awesome. I would love to see more like Samoans from the islands come up, because I think, and this is something I hear a lot back home. It's like, oh yeah, the Afakasis are doing it. The Afakasis. And it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. But instead of looking at it like, why are they the ones doing it? How about just see the ones that are doing it as the ones paving the way? Okay.
Yes.
Paving the way. I would really love to see more islanders straight from the islands come up and do their thing. Get to see the whole scope of Samoans, I don't know. I would love to see all of us up here.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, that being said, anything you want to plug before we go?
Oh, I'm good. Oh, good. The calendars are coming. Etsy. I have my Etsy shop, tawshlav.etsy.com. The link's in my bio. I should have a website by now, but it's one of the many projects that I'm working on. Like I said, it's just me. So bear with me. I hope you like my art though. Yeah, I'll send you a calendar if you can. Oh, I have your address, right?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send you one. I still have quite a few, and I have so many Hawaiian calendars. So if you have like an organization or anything, like at this point, I found a few places that have Hawaiian students where I'm kind of donating some, because I don't want to throw any away, like the rest, I would probably just store them, but it'd be good to get some out there for people.
Okay. So with that being said, we're signing out, people. I want to first off, I want to thank you for taking time to come on the show. I know it's very late. I know you're very busy, but I am very grateful for you taking the time to come on the show and to share your story, your journey, and be an inspiration.
Thanks, man.
You are a trailblazer. You truly are. And I appreciate you taking the time to tell your story and your journey on the show. And secondly, I want to thank Kasonga for introducing us and for everything that he's done. He's absolutely phenomenal, one of the most humble people. And I'm legitimately saying this. Like, this is not me just blowing smoke up his ass.
Oh, yeah.
I'm truly meaning that. Like, being one of the most humble and just hardest working people I know. Thank you, Kasonga, for everything.
And one of the funniest.
But, oh my God, he is. He truly is. And, the other group that I'd like to thank is I want to thank the sponsor of my podcast, Spotify, for giving me this opportunity. Been sponsored with you guys for a while. The only podcast in Hawaii sponsored by Spotify. So thank you guys for that amazing opportunity. And with that being said, links for everything for Tawsh will be in the description of the podcast. It'll be available in video and audio format on every major podcasting outlet. We just got on Amazon Music and iHeartRadio, and I believe we're going to be going to can I share this yet?
Man, I thought I was nervous before. This is going to be everywhere. Thank you, Mekel, for having me. It's been so fun. Fun. I can see why you're close to Kasanova and Daniel. Say hi to Daniel for me. Oh my goodness. I haven't seen these guys in so long. Thank you.
I definitely will. And with that being said, people, we're signing out. We'll catch you on the next one. Mahalo for your time for listening to this episode of the Kasanova Podcast, number one podcast in Hawaii. If you found this episode to be incredibly enjoyable, informative, or if there's anything you gain from it, or any insight, or anything that's good that you really, really enjoyed, make sure whatever platform you're listening to it on, or if you're watching it, leave a comment if that's available on the platform, like it, share it around with someone you think would enjoy it, and give us some feedback, because your feedback is exactly what we need to keep this show going. And if you're wondering what are some ways that you could support the show, we got various ways. We've got Patreon, we have channel memberships over on YouTube, as well as Subscribestar, Coffee, and so much more. Links for everything will be in the description of the podcast, so make sure you go check that out. And with all that being said, I hope you have an aloha rest of your day.
Let them know that I'm next level. I'm a whole new kind of guy. Yeah. Yes, at the top spot, in case you forgot. We the ones that got the block hot, bullet got the shot.